It's 5 minutes with me.
Hey friends, welcome to 5 Minutes with Marko. I was challenged by a sermon I heard some time ago by a retired Methodist bishop based on the biblical story of the Ethiopian Eunuch. And it got me thinking about the message our youth ministries should embrace and project. You probably know the story. The Ethiopian Eunuch was rich, powerful, and elite. Traveling by chariot was the equivalent of today's private jet and limo set. He was, after all, in charge of the Ethiopian queen's treasury, clearly a very smart man. Also, as we first encounter him in the narrative, he's reading Isaiah in the back of a chariot. Isaiah, it should be noted, would not have been in his native language. Philip, after hearing from an angel that he's supposed to head down to Gaza from Jerusalem, camps out alongside the road, and there he encounters the eunuch who's heading home from Jerusalem. The direction's important, and it's fascinating that the angel didn't direct Philip to the eunuch when they were both in Jerusalem. Deuteronomy 23, 1, this is ancillary relationship here. Deuteronomy 23:1 says, "No one who has been emasculated by crushing or cutting may enter the assembly of the Lord." The junior high boy in me likes the old KJV version of this passage. "He that is wounded in the stones or hath his privy member cut off shall not enter the congregation of the Lord." The eunuch went to Jerusalem to worship, but would have been prevented from doing so. He would not have been allowed to enter the temple. After Philip explains the prophetic passage the eunuch is reading in Isaiah, not the Deuteronomy verse about stones and privy members, to be clear, but a passage about Jesus, Philip also tells him about Jesus, and then the eunuch asks an important question. He says, "Here's some water. What would prevent me from being baptized?" Man, if we're really going to be honest here, and I might as well be since this is my podcast, there are so many people in our world today. If they asked that question of a church, what would prevent me from being baptized, they'd be told what they need to change first. They would be prevented, just as the eunuch had been prevented from entering the temple in Jerusalem. But of course, Phil baptizes him, and we have one of the most important conversion stories of the New Testament. There are and have been 100 ways this passage can be applied to our current day, but I'm a youth worker, and I got thinking about how prevented teenagers are today, maybe more than any time in human history. Massive culturally endorsed isolation, kept from the world of adults, viewed as incapable and broken, infantilized, treated as children. To those who are prevented, the gospel says nothing prevents you. You are welcome as an equal. Our youth ministries should not exist as well-meaning holding tanks waiting for maturity and adulthood. Our youth ministries should not isolate teenagers from the world of adults. Our youth ministry should not treat teenagers as children, incapable and broken. Instead, our ministries should be loudspeakers and laboratories of a nothing prevents you reality.
The Youth Cartel Podcast Network.